Okay, hi everyone. So I am Zul, Muhammad Zulkarnain. I am the intern here in PPC. So today, of course, if you already know, we will be discussing on appearance anxiety.
Uh,
And here we have today is Encik Shari. Encik Shari, would you like to introduce yourself?
yeah, as usual, I'm Shari, our registered counselor. So our sharing today is more towards appearance anxiety, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, so I bet everyone here may or may not have experienced appearance anxiety. So why don't we just discuss about what we will be discussing today? So of course, we will be discussing on the definition of appearance anxiety, the causes, the effects of it, and maybe we can also dive into how we can overcome and maybe some techniques on how we can cope with this anxiety issues, specifically for appearance anxiety.
Yeah. So that's the overall things lah. Related to our sharing today, we focusing on understanding the appearance anxiety itself. Okay. Let's get to our discussion today with the understanding or definitions first lah. So that kalau tak kenal maka tak cerita lah, isn't it? Uh, so kita kena kenal dulu. We have to know first what is the appearance anxiety before we discuss about how to deal, what cause, or what's the effects of this appearance anxiety. We may need to know what is appearance anxiety of at first. So that basically appearance anxiety is defined as distress or any worry of a person about physical appearance, and the worry is can be excessive itself, and it may manifest in a various way. For example, that appearance anxiety can manifest in self-consciousness, meaning that you overly conscious about the physical appearance itself, and very conscious and afraid of people judgment towards your appearance. So this is part of the manifestation of appearance anxiety. And other than that, it can be you overly compare yourself with someone. So that's also can appear as anxiety in terms of your physical. And you may engage in avoidance behavior. Avoidance behavior, especially in a social setting. So that's a part of the manifestation of appearance anxiety. And if it's worse, the person may goes to the next level, which is my experience. We call it as a dysmorphic disorder, which is a disorder that are related to the appearance itself, the way how you look, the way how you're very obsessed on the physical appearance itself. So there are few manifestations of appearance anxiety itself. So, like I mentioned just now, lah, it's involved maybe related to self consciousness, comparisons, avoidance, as well as it may lead to body dysmorphic disorder. So that this is part of the understanding of appearance anxiety. So if you experience this sign or this manifestation, maybe you have this appearance anxiety itself. So it involves overly self-conscious, a comparison, involve avoidance behavior, as well as body, you might present some symptoms of body dysmorphic disorder. So that basically this is the manifestation of appearance anxiety. If you notice yourself experiencing it or overly care about the physical appearance, or you have a tendency to keep comparing yourself with people related to physical appearance. And then when it comes to you wanted to be in a social setting, but because of these issues, you avoid to be in a social setting. So you constantly feeling a doubt with your appearance, things like that. This is we call as appearance anxiety. So according to this definition or to this manifestation and signs, What do you think about appearance anxiety? And do you have experience or your friends experience having this anxiety? Yeah.
For me, in the terms of the definition, I would say appearance anxiety is quite a big issue nowadays. I would say majority of us in this new era has gone through appearance anxiety, since people do have this comparisons, as you mentioned, and also self-consciousness where we want to look the best, or we're fearing from judgment in this sense. And I would say it's good that slowly the awareness of appearance anxiety is there, but maybe with this IG live we can share more experiences and ways we can help, because I believe everyone here may or may not have experienced it themselves. So who knows, if anyone here has any experiences, they can also share with us in the
Yeah.
comments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
actually pretty common in Malaysia, because yeah, our society has this thing where love to look at other people. You know, there are certain I love to talk about other people. This is the culture in our society lah. So because of this, could be the development of the appearance anxiety is increasing due to the nature and the culture of our society itself, isn't it? The perceptions towards the appearance itself is increasing, so that we fear about our physical appearance. So that's actually leads to someone to have appearance anxiety. So that but of course, because with these definitions, we also need to know about the causes. So what's actually the main causes lah of this appearance anxiety? What's maybe you can give some opinion on it, Zul?
oh, definitely. So I
Uh,
would say one of the main causes, I think,
uh,
in our generation is, of course, technology. Since technology does play a main role in all of us, we are constantly on our
uh,
phones. So, of course,
uh,
media influence will be one of the main causes for appearance anxiety. I would
uh,
say specifically the constant exposure of these images we see on social media, as it can also be us just typically just scrolling on Instagram, scrolling on Twitter, seeing these unrealistic beauty standards that we ourselves find, oh, this person is so pretty, or this person is so good looking. But maybe for us, we want to achieve it, but we know with our own self, we are unallowed to do it. And I would say, because of this constant exposure, it's actually causing us to have this like visual content, and it starts to have comparison among us and the specific person.
yeah. Yeah, it's like a standard in our community. Looking at our social media, where everybody present good in social media, especially it may creates lots of perceptions over the beauty standard itself. Where, oh, I should look this way to look beauty, to look this, to look smart, to look this, to look whatever the level that, we put to ourselves in accords to the social media. Isn't it? Yeah, yeah, definitely social media increase the level of anxiety when it comes to appearance, our appearance. Definitely. Because as we know that in social media, everybody portray a good life. Everybody portray a beauty things. Everybody portray how positive they are in the social media, isn't it? So that's the majority of our social media nowadays, portray all the positive side of us, and the positive. All the standard is actually, we cannot deny that the standard is actually a part of our perception is come from the social media itself. So similar to our appearance, it may come from the social media. It's a big influence lah, basically. It's a big factors that contribute to someone's having appearance anxiety. But not just that, peer and family also play an important role in creating the perceptions over the appearance anxiety. Where if you get negative remarks from your friends or families itself regarding your appearance, they also may develop the anxiety itself. So I do have friends like this who always be negatively remarked by the family members or friends, saying that you like this, your face is like this, you are ugly, things like that. So when we hear all this negative remark from people who close to us, lagi lah, dia develop more belief, a negative belief towards oneself, isn't it? So that when we have these negative beliefs, it may leads to increase the anxiety level when it comes to our appearance. So that basically, family members and peers also might influence the anxiety level itself when it comes to appearance. Okay.
I
Uh,
see. I do agree on that. So before we continue the next causes, I see we have a comment in our comment section. So
uh,
Farabi has asked, is it possible for someone that actually have previous feeling confident with their appearance to regress and develop into appearance anxiety?
yes, yes, definitely, actually, definitely. Someone who has confident level, a high confident level previously, but okay, as I mentioned earlier, that there are many causes of disappearing anxiety, and we have mentioned three causes, which is social media influence, peer pressure, as well as family influence. That's already three causes. If you are being influenced by these factors, actually it may develop severe appearance anxiety. It's definitely yes, definitely it's possible to develop, because it's, our anxiety level can be progressed, can increase and can decrease. So the level of anxiety is depends on the environment you are in as well. It's not just related to yourself, but also in the environment you are in. So that part of the percentage in development of this appearance anxiety could be the environment you are in right now lah. So for example, you are always being teased and bullied by your friends and family members, and whenever you scroll the social media and you look at, oh, everybody is pretty, everybody is handsome, and then you started to compare with yourself. This is the possible starting point of having the appearance anxiety. Definitely yes, Farabi. Definitely yes. So do you have opinion on that, Zo?
I wouldn't say I have an opinion, but I would say I agree with what you said. When a person can have high confidence, but it can regress to appearing anxiety. As an example, I would say myself personally. I used to be this confident person with the way I look and my own appearance, but due to the comments on, and as you said, teasing from people and even family influence, like the family dynamic itself, I do have this tendency where
Uh,
in the past I was so nervous or anxious to even go out, making sure my appearance was good. I had maybe an hour. It takes me an hour just to choose what clothes I wanted to wear because I didn't want people to look down on me or even judge the way I
uh,
dress. So
uh,
I've gone through like putting one set of clothes, looking through the mirror. I felt, oh, maybe people will judge me for this tie or for this shirt, so I will eventually change. So I do agree that in that sense that this confident feeling that you originally had can regress to appearance anxiety. And I would say it's actually quite a negative effect that is quite deep, actually. Yeah.
uh, uh. We have another comment here. So I realized that I'm unable to walk out of my house without putting on makeup and good clothes. Uh, apa ni? Good
Uh,
clothes. As I
yeah.
am scared to look unpresentable, is there any way to stop this? This, as I mentioned earlier, that this is a sign of having appearance anxiety, which is your avoidance behavior. So it's a sign, it's part of manifestation of appearance anxiety, where you feel not confident enough with your appearance due to certain physical, due to fear of judgment, or it can be a lot of reason lah why you avoid the social situation. and afraid of the appearance anxiety itself. This is a sign. But is there any way to stop this? Okay, you stay tuned in our live sharing today. We're gonna share some tips lah, how to deal with this appearance anxiety at the end of our live sharing today. Okay, all right. So for the causes, would you like to add more about the causes of appearance anxiety, Zul?
Of course, I think we've touched on bullying. We've touched as well on people who are comparison to social media and also family. Since we've talked about the outside people, our circle, maybe we can talk about ourselves. So another cause that people personally have is perfectionism.
Mm,
And to people who don't know, perfectionism is actually the tendency where you want to strive for something to be perfect. And in
mm,
this sense, you kind of want to strive to be flawless. For example, I think most of us have gone through it macam, oh, we want to have the perfect skin. So the moment we see a breakout, we already have anxiety that people are going to look at us. Just from one breakout, they're going to look, oh, I look ugly. I'm going to look, people are going to call me disgusting. These are the things that the perfectionism can affect, and it actually can lead to the dissatisfaction of one person's own appearance, and that itself will cause this appearance anxiety to even worsen further, I would say.
yeah. Yeah. The sense of perfectionism itself. Yeah, tendency to strive for to look flawless, to look beautiful, to look it's like a perfect person. It's like a perfect appearance, perfect body, things like that. So that, yes, definitely I do yeah, definitely I agree with your point, Zul. There's no that perfectionism idea leads to someone have appearance anxiety. And another significant factors that may contribute to this appearance anxiety is actually traumatic events in the past. For example, that in the house or in your environment, you always get bullied physically or mentally or verbally regarding your appearance itself. So that when you experience this traumatic event, when it comes to your physical appearance, traumatic events will lead you to have certain perception and certain belief about yourself. So when you, especially when it creates negative beliefs towards oneself, so that basically once you have negative belief towards yourself, that's actually it may develop throughout your life you may develop this belief progressively. For example, that from you have this experience at the age of 9, and at the age of 10 you experience more negative remarks from your friends, or being bullied, etc., in your environment, and this belief is progressing, meaning that it's always strong. It becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. So when the belief is very strong, so that's actually big causes as well for you to have this appearance anxiety. So that basically we have shared a few concern, a few causes of the appearance anxiety, which include social media, traumatic events, family and peer pressure, and perfectionism idea. So, would you like to add more, Zu?
Mm,
Or we move to the next
I think we can
topic?
move to the next one, since the next question by Teha is actually asking for long-term consequences.
Oh,
So I think you can share on this actually, since
yeah,
we're
that's
already
great.
going to move
Okay.
on.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so the consequences, definitely. I would like to share with you. I would like to categorize the consequences in a different category. So one of the category that how appearance anxiety might affect you is by affecting your mental health. So basically, appearance anxiety, if it's not in the long term, if it's not being treated, your mental health will get affected. where you might have a low self-esteem. You might experience depression. Depression, a long-term or chronic depression, or we call it the if it's not being treated, and if it's keep severe and become more severe and severe, it may develop persistent depression. And also it may develop anxiety disorder. It can become anxiety disorder. And last one, as I said earlier, that if it's too much, if it's too severe, it can become a body dysmorphic disorder, which is part of the mental health issues. So basically, this is a long-term effect when it comes to appearance anxiety towards your mental health if it's not being treated. So this is the significant effect of appearance anxiety when it comes to ourselves, our mental health lah, basically. And another consequences or another effects of appearance anxiety itself is when it comes to social interaction, where you have a tendency to isolate yourself, withdraw from social, and then avoid from having a social interaction. So you avoid social setting. You withdraw, you isolate yourself, and then be with yourself, more comfortable be with yourself. But the thing is, we cannot run away from society, from contacting people, from interacting with people. We cannot run away from this. So what? Because we cannot run away from this, so this this appearance anxiety become disturbance for you, and this is significantly impact ourselves. You know, we need to go to bank to get our money, right, to cash out our money, so we need to talk to people. And then when this thing happen, many things that actually prevent from happening because of this social avoidance and social withdrawal. So this is part of the consequence when it comes to social setting. And another part also, this appearance anxiety, if it's severe, or it also may affect your physical health, which is you might experience anorexia nervosa, for example. So you have the tendency not to eat at all to take care of the body to make sure that you are at the shape. So you have the tendency to use certain eating tools that for example, you lose laxative whenever after eating, so that's also not good. It may cause a lot of physical issues lah later if you consistently use this thing lah, basically to make sure that you look good. So basically it's also affect your physical health in a way if it's not being treated. So other than that, maybe Zul, you would like to add a few points related to the consequences of the appearance anxiety itself.
Okay, I can do that. So I would say you touched on physical health. You also touched on the social effects and mental. I think one thing we can touch is coping or the tendencies that we do to cope that are negative. So I think most people don't know that there are such things as negative coping or the way we cope in a negative manner. So I would say the first thing, and I think is the most common that happens in the world today, is cosmetic surgery, where the moment we see our flaws, for example, I have my own acquaintance of mine or someone close to me from home, I actually felt that she didn't like the shape of her nose. She always felt that it was not good. She felt ugly. So she actually kept telling me and the family members that she wanted to do cosmetic surgery. And when she actually did it, it started to get worse and worse because the more she looked at it, she started to see that the more she felt more, there are more flaws in herself. So this is a way of negative coping or negative solutions that they think or individuals think that can help solve their appearance in a sense, but it actually can cause negative ways not only mentally, where it causes the appearance anxiety to get worse, but it also can be a health issue
Mm.
where by doing plastic surgery, you're actually deteriorating yourself or affecting your physical body in a more physical sense, I would say. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And cosmetic surgery also can be addicted, that that people wouldn't know, because It's like, okay, I have leg in this, and then I do plastic surgery, and then I fix that. But it's like a problem solving. You know, I have problem and I solve through plastic surgery. But remember that I shared with you guys that appearance anxiety. Okay, you may have a good look, but the anxiety is not disappear. Because of what? Because cosmetic surgery is just to fix the external factors. How about the internal factors? Internal factors? For example, since we already discussed that appearance anxiety may lead to have a low self-esteem. So whatever cosmetic surgery you do, so it may actually leads you to have a low self-esteem as well. So that is the consequences is if it's not being treated properly. So that basically it can be addicted and it can lead to have a physical negative copy and abuse to of your house, going outside, interact with people or having interaction with different people. So pretty anxious with the situation because fear of judgment of your appearance itself, and because of this you cannot control and you may involve in negative coping. So part of the negative coping is you involve in substance abuse. For example, you take any drugs, things like that lah. So to calm yourself. So when you take more drugs, the more damage to your brain and the more damage to your physical health. So it may lead to these effects lah of the appearance. So basically, a lot lah effect and consequences of the appearance anxiety itself lah. And we have discussed about how this appearance anxiety affect your mental health, how this appearance anxiety affect your social interaction, how this appearance anxiety affect your physical health, as well as how this appearance anxiety lead you to experience a negative coping itself. So this is the long-term consequences of having appearance anxiety. So, okay, we have another questions from Farabi. Does social anxiety can affect appearance anxiety? So basically, appearance anxiety is specific to oneself. When it comes to social anxiety, it's about the social interaction saja. But appearance anxiety is a general term, which is you may affect in a different setting as well. But for social anxiety, it just focus on the social setting saja. That is social anxiety. So it's interrelated, but it's a different terms lah. Basically, a different manifestation. For the social anxiety, you fear of judgment, not specifically about your how you look, but maybe specifically about the way how you say, the way you communicate with people. Or it's not just about your appearance. Social anxiety may include a lot of things lah. Basically, when it comes to social anxiety, but for the appearance anxiety, it's more to specifically about your appearance itself. But it can be factors. When you have a social anxiety plus appearance anxiety, that's much more difficult lah. To deal with the feeling itself lah. It's a bit laggy just now. Is it okay for that? Can you hear us, Zul? So a bit laggy. Okay. Is it clear, Alfarabi? Farabi? Is it clear? I hope that is clear. That I explained about social anxiety a bit and anxiety itself. Oh, we have another question. Does bad first impression affect appearance anxiety? Okay, it depends on individual, Miss Yake. It depends on the individual where first impression will give some information. However, we cannot control how people judge, how people what people do to us, what people say about us. We cannot control about that. So. Uh, so basically, appearance anxiety is about we afraid of how our physical are, and then how people judge us. So it's two things, which is within ourselves and also the external factors. Within ourselves and external factors. So the bad impressions here, what I understand from your question is like from other people's side. Uh, so from other people's side, when people give a people give a different expression to a certain different impression, so that will actually affect lah the appearance anxiety itself. That would definitely affect lah the appearance anxiety because it's come from other people. It may influence lah, it may influence, but it depends on individual itself lah. Some people focus on the internal perception. Some people focus on the external validation or external perceptions, but for some people it's involved internal and external. So basically it depends on individual how it may affect your appearance anxiety. That one need to be further explored and detailed exploration on the person itself lah. How it's affecting the someone's appearance, how someone's confidence level or self-esteem, that need to be evaluated through the session lah. Basically, we will explore further on the issue. So basically, those are the effects of appearance anxiety towards oneself. Do you want to add more, Zul?
I don't think so. I think you've explained quite a lot actually when it comes to the effects itself. So yeah.
Okay. Maybe we can discuss lah. Now, maybe we can discuss on how to deal or overcome this appearance anxiety, so that you have the rough idea. But this just the tips lah. Basically, it's just the tips and helping you just to help you increase your insight related to appearance anxiety. Okay. Okay. Maybe you can have our audience understand better about appearance anxiety and how to deal with it lah. So yeah.
All right. So hi everyone. Sorry. Hopefully the lag is not bad. So I think I'm a bit laggy. So when it comes to overcoming or ways to cope with appearance anxiety, the most important will be mindfulness and also self-compassion. So I would say it's very important for us to practice mindfulness. In terms of practicing mindfulness, we're talking more on focusing on the positivity and reducing our focus on the negative things that are in our mind about our appearance. So things like meditation or even self-confidence through mantras are best ways to focus on these mindfulness practices. When discussing on self-compassion, on the other hand, we can practice by focusing on ourselves, treating ourselves with kindness, and how we always treat our friends with kindness whenever our friends have anything that's negative towards them and they feel they're negative to their appearance. We should also do what we do to them similar to us. For example, maybe with me and my friends, I say my friend is down. Of course, I'll be like, it's okay, you're beautiful just the way you are. You don't have to look at yourself in such a negative way. You can say that to yourself as well, to your inner self, because I believe that without self compassion, it's quite difficult to continue this step of process to try to overcome this appearance anxiety in my opinion myself. Yeah. What do you think, Mr. Shari?
Yeah, definitely. A part of the treatment of appearance anxiety is actually increasing the self compassion. So some people say that self compassion can be selfish, self compassion can be negative. Things like that is actually not necessarily true lah. Not necessarily true. Because self-compassion definitely will increase your self-esteem. Self-compassion will increase a lot of positive things in you, and combined with the mindfulness itself is it really helpful for a person to reduce the anxious feeling itulah when it comes to appearance. So that basically appearance anxiety is a feeling. It's involved feelings of anxious. So that when it's involved feelings of anxious, we may have doubt in ourselves. But to reduce this doubt and anxiousness, by practicing mindfulness, focusing at the present moment, practicing all the relaxation exercise, focusing on what you have in you, so that's actually will help you to reduce the anxiety level. And I interested when you say something that compassionate, as in for example, you have friends and you say something that very compassionate to your friends, that oh, you are beautiful to yourself. If you can say that to your friends, why not you can say it to yourself? So it's actually a really good point here, to for me to emphasize that. So because of what? Because as I mentioned earlier, that appearance anxiety is involved internal factors and is also external factors. For the external factors we cannot control, is beyond our control. So for example, people can say whatever they want to you because of what? Because yeah, they ada mulut, they ada their own perspective, and they have their own judgment, and we cannot deny that outside there are good people, there are also bad people. So we cannot deny that adanya orang baik, adanya orang yang kita tak selesa. So that because the existence of orang-orang yang kita tak selesa ni, so we cannot run away from social situations. So what we can do, so what antara yang kita boleh buat is that we focus on the things that we can control. So the thing that we can control is only ourselves. So basically, self-compassion is in line with the things that what we can control. And then bila they in line, we have a full understanding of this alignment, of this relationship between self-compassion and the things that you can control. That's increase the awareness, and it might actually reduce your anxiety level lah. When you already believe that, or whatever people say to me, I cannot control, and I do believe that the way how I look, I am who I am lah, basically. So that, and acknowledging of what you have in you and portray a self-compassion towards oneself is one of the methods to reduce their anxiety level, especially when it comes to appearance. Jelas. I think it's jelas lah. That this is a tip lah. Basically, it's a tip. For you to be more self-compassion towards yourself, it takes time. It doesn't mean that you say today you can ingat ya. You deal with the environment. It's not just with yourself. You deal with the environment. So meaning that when you go outside, then you have a tendency to meet these people who you feel not comfortable with. So that they might say negative remarks on you, but practicing self-compassion, it needs to be consistent over the time. So meaning that you keep always need to say to yourself that you are how you are. So I am who I am. This is how I look. I appreciate of what you have. Keep consistently saying that, and when you say that, actually lama-lama, over the time, it may develop a belief itself. So we want this positive belief towards ourselves. So that when you created this positive belief yourself through self-compassion, that's actually in the long term, that's gonna reduce the appearance anxiety. Macam tu lah. Harap faham this brief explanation related to self-compassion and mindfulness as well as appearance anxiety so far. Boleh faham ke so far, and is it clear so far?
For me, it's clear. Let's see if of our commenters, if anyone in the
Okay.
audience finds it clear, you can
Any,
just give us a thumbs up.
yeah, you just give a thumbs up if you think that is clear, or you need more clarification, you can ask in our discussion chat lah, in our live sharing. Okay, so what other methods that we may practice to improve our to decrease our anxiousness or anxiety that when it comes to appearance zone?
Okay, since I did mention that the main cause is social media, right? So of course, the best way to counteract with constant social media exposure is to limit our social media consumption. So we ourselves as users of social media, whether it being Facebook, Twitter, even IG itself, since we're using the platform itself, we should of course educate ourselves about how some of these standards of beauty can be very unrealistic, and we should not follow them, and we should be more understanding on the, how do I say, maybe the limit we can reach itself when it comes to this kind of standards. And another method that I would say is most important, of course, is digital detox. Since we are limiting our media, maybe we should take a short break from social media, distance ourselves from social media to give us the awareness that we need to understand that, oh, maybe these unrealistic standards are really too far. Because I do believe in myself that my comparisons due to social media was quite hard, comparing to not just influencers, it could also be our peers and our friends, like how we see our friends go jalan-jalan and they wear such fancy clothes, or they have such beautiful appearances. You do tend to compare, and it does get you down. So I would say a digital detox is always the best way. We were not asking you to remove yourself forever, but taking a constant break or short distance from social media actually can help us in terms of our own confidence, and also our own appearance anxiety, on how we have to understand that these standards are not necessarily what we need to follow. It's also ways that we can understand that, I'm happy with the way I am, I should be glad I don't have to follow such standards, because they can be sometimes unrealistic, and it's not even that good on me in time. So I would say that other ways, since we did touch on mental health, of course, seeking support and also professional help is of course important. Seeking supports, of course, everyone here has someone they can talk to, whether it being a friend, a family. It can also be a support group. These are where we can share our feelings and reduce, the intensity of our anxiety. Because I bet some of us bottle up our emotions, since can banyak sangat orang dah bottle up the emotions, keeping them to themselves. These are the ways that by letting it out, you actually are releasing all the bottled up emotions that you've been keeping so much out, and it actually makes you feel better. And if it's really severe, then yes, of course, professional help by seeking a psychologist or a counselor would be really helpful, as they can actually help you go through the process of understanding what you're going through in a sense. So what do you think, Chijeri?
Yeah, definitely. Digital digital detox is effective ways lah in reducing our anxiety, because we reduce our beauty standard itself. Tapi kan Zul, for those from experience dealing with this appearance anxiety cases, actually it's pretty difficult for the clients to deal with this such a situation, because it's a constant trigger. It's a constant trigger. So it's a constant trigger. Wherever you are, you will get a negative remarks from the person. So that's why everything that you do when it comes to creating a positive belief towards yourself is actually needs to be consistent over the time, because if it's not consistent, you akan jatuh lah in the middle of the process, where you know that you always get triggered from the family people and the social media. And it's good that you talk about the digital detox just now, because by limiting our social media use, it's actually will help us to think more positive about ourselves. Kalau tak, we always have this of negative remarks, and it becomes a label, towards ourselves. And we already label ourselves with negative remarks. So, kalau kita cakap negatif tentang diri kita, and other people say negative about us, so it will be everything is negative about us. So at least we got negative remarks from other people, but we don't label ourselves with these negative remarks. So at least it just one from other people, it's not from us. So okay. One thing is that I would like also to emphasize here that whenever you do mindfulness is actually okay. To practice mindfulness is actually to make it easy to understand. Basically, you try to avoid putting any label towards yourself or other people. So instead of you put label, oh orang ni macam ni, oh orang ni macam ni, orang macam ni. Instead of that, you don't have you no need to put any label or any judgment, or we call it as non-judgmental approach. Non-judgmental approach means that in your mind, don't put any label of whatever how the persons look like, but focusing on what you are experiencing. For example, whenever you talk to a person and you focus on the content, instead of focusing on the level. So because with a level, increase the anxiety level. Level lah. So it will increase because in your mind you already have label, especially towards yourself. So when you label yourself with certain negative remarks, so it becomes a belief. So when it becomes a belief, it leads to have another problem, right? Psychological issues, things like that, because you have a negative belief towards yourself. So that we have a questions that related. Apa ni? Apa dah tadi? Ni. In the moment someone in conflict of appearance and anxiety from it, is it better to leave them for the time being, or we comforting them, like praising them? Okay, macam ni. As I mentioned earlier, practicing mindfulness is don't put any label of someone's appearance. Don't put any label to someone's appearance and to yourself as well. Because kalau you, for example, if you praising them, or if you provide a positive remark over someone's appearance, it also may affect you in a way, indirectly. Because the level will be in your mind, when the level will, you have a certain level in your mind. Oh, this is good, this is bad, this is this is very beautiful, this is very ugly, this is smart, this is stupid. Or when you have this level in your mind, and then you berjalan with this level, and you have a tendency to judge as well. So when you judge people, and you have a tendency to judge yourself. So when you judge yourself, these appearance anxiety may develop stronger and stronger later in the future. So basically, when you face these people, right? So non-judgmental approach is needed to protect yourself, as well as to create a healthy environment itself lah. So that you do both. You protect yourself, at the same time you create a healthy environment. So which is much more healthy approach when it comes to dealing with appearance anxiety. So is anxiety for bipolar disorder? Anxiety has level. Yes, that Burkitt. Anxiety has level, and to check whether you have the level, or what kind of level you are currently, you may need to undergo screening or psychological assessment lah. So that to know the level of anxiety itself. So in our center, we do provide that services. So if you wanted to know more, you may consult us lah in our center here. Macam tu. Okay? That bukit, yeah, it got level lah. Anxiety got level, okay? Bipolar disorder is a different lah. Bipolar disorder is a different type of mental disorder lah. It's not towards anxiety lah. Okay? Alright. So that's basically a few sempat share few je hari ni sebab masa. I would like to share more actually when it comes to how to deal with this appearance anxiety, but we do have a limited time today for sharing a lot of information and how to cope and overcome this appearance anxiety. But would you like to add more before we ended our discussion today, Zul? In overcoming the appearance anxiety?
I would say, hard to say if I want to add more. I think one more I could add is this: whenever you do have this sense of appearance anxiety, do always set realistic expectations for yourself. Set achievable goals, of course, and healthy goals. So at least you don't make any excessive decisions that could, cause detrimental effects to yourself. That would be the most easiest way to say it.
Yeah, correct, Zul. I do agree. Set a realistic goal for ourselves. Realistic, apa ni? Macam ni. In ourselves, you know that we do have ideal self and we do have a real self. You know, the bigger the gap between the ideal self and real self, the more problematic or the more emotional experience you have lah. Basically, the bigger the gap between the ideal self and real self. So that by having the way how we deal with this is closing the gap between the ideal self and real self. You punya idea, you punya real, you close the gap. So that that's also related to the realistic goal lah. So whenever you can close the closer the gap between the real self and the ideal self, yang tu the more satisfied yourself lah, basically. The more you may experience more in terms of satisfaction in life lah. Macam tu. So that, but to close the gap tu mungkin it takes it is process lah. It is process. And maybe to do that, maybe you can contact us lah and then have a psychotherapy or counseling session to close the gap between your ideal self and your real self, because it's involved lots of process. But setting a realistic goal maybe can achieve by yourself lah, so that you set the goals that you can achieve, so that will help you to reduce the anxiety towards macam tu lah. Basically the level of the bigger the gap between the ideal self and real self, the more emotional experience you have lah, and the closer the gap between the ideal self and the real self, so the less emotional experience that you have lah. And one last point I wanted to add more lah, since we do have 2 minutes left, so that what another method, another technique that you can practice at home actually by focusing on your own strength. Because sometimes okay, let's say that thinking positive everything is cannot be, you cannot be positive with yourself, things like that, right? The way how you look, things like that, you cannot. Memang it's blocked already lah. Cannot, whatever you do cannot. Things like that. So you may focus on what you have in you. Maybe you're not focusing on your physical things, but you focus on the invisible thing. For example, that you're good in communication. You're good in convincing people. You're good in making this. You good in arts. You good in that. So that you focus on the strength that you have. That actually will improve your self-esteem. So once you have a good you have high self-esteem, or your self-esteem is improved, it also will help you to reduce the appearance and the anxiety when it comes to appearance. Macam tu lah. Macam tu. So that's basically about how to deal lah. Some tips, some things may be useful for all of you. So I hope that all this sharing will give you some ideas or give you some insight when it comes to appearance anxiety. Macam tu. So if you get some insight or if you get the idea or you get something from this sharing, you may leave us a thumbs up and maybe you can give your feedback lah for in our social media as well as to our center lah for us to improve more. If you need more, if you need more topics from us, you also may contact us so that we may develop lah. We may create this sharing session with all of you. So I think that for our today discussion, it comes to an end. So do you have anything else to share before we end our discussion today, our sharing today, Zul?
I don't think so. I think everything is good. Thank you everyone so much for sharing also your experience and also your questions regarding appearance anxiety. We do
Yeah,
appreciate your questions.
yeah.
And
Thank you,
I hope you all had a fun time.
You're right. Correct. Thank you. And for those who are asking the question, you also already help other people to know about this thing. So we do appreciate your questions lah in our live sharing. So thank you guys. I think that's all from us today. Sorry, it's a time limited and we do have a limited time to share more with you guys. And we hope that we can cover another topic lah for you guys. And if you need anything from us, just let us know through our social media.
Yeah,
So that's all.
correct.
And have a nice day ahead. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.